Welcome! In this tutorial, we'll have a closer look at the Patcher Effect presets by Xenofish. In particular, we'll explore Allpass, Rohr, Clouds16 and Equox. If you're unfamiliar with how to set up a Patcher effect like this, we recommend watching the first video in this series, the One Knob Effects. Here's a quick recap. To add Patcher, press F8 and type PAT. Then click and drag Patcher onto the mixer track you're trying to affect. You're now greeted with the map view. To get to Patcher's presets, right-click Patcher's preset selector in the top right, and here they are in the list. We'll start with Allpass, as it's the most straightforward of the four. On the main view then, we get an idea of what this patch is designed to do. Phase dispersion of the frequencies. That means, with the use of stacked Allpass filters, progressively delaying the frequencies below a cutoff frequency. This will achieve a rubbery texture in sustained sounds. It can also turn transients into laser-esque zapping sounds. Let's have a peek under the hood. In the map view, you can see that the plugin affecting the sound here is Fruity Love Filter. All filters in it are set to Allpass, and as you increase the stages control on the main tab, the filters are gradually added in series to add more delay to the lower frequencies. The frequency and bandwidth controls are mapped to their equivalents in Love Filter. Cutoff is mapped directly to frequency, and resonance is mapped via the Modulation Y macro in Love Filter. The user-friendly values button restricts the Allpass frequency to 1 kHz and below, as that is where the effect is most desirable. Turning it off enables a much harsher, ringing high-mid frequency response. Let's move on to the next patch. Clouds16 is a 16-band bandpass filter bank that can make custom phaser-like effects. This is a very CPU-intensive process, so once you're done with modulating, it may be a good idea to consolidate your sound. Inside, we can see where the magic happens. The audio is being passed through two parallel Fruity Love filters. The frequency knob shifts the cutoff of all active filters, and the bandwidth knob affects the resonance. Spread widens or narrows the spacing of the bandpass filters in the spectrum. Panning is self-explanatory, and the band count activates more filters progressively, from low frequencies to high. In the LFO section, you can choose 3 different LFO shapes to modulate your bandpass frequencies and change the LFO's speed, strength, and smoothing. Synchronize it to your tempo with this control. Fun fact: while it may look like the mapping is all handled by one instance of each here, there are actually 16 formula and 8 XYZ controllers stacked on top of each other to tidy up the otherwise very daunting map view a bit. Next up, Rohr. Rohr is the German word for pipe. And this one's a no-holds-barred distortion patch for low-frequency inputs like simple bass sounds or kick drums. It's easiest to demonstrate by showing you what this will do to a low sine wave. Nice. As you may have guessed, this is a purpose-built tool for sound designing aggressive techie sounds that are prominent in bass music. So how does this even work? On the main tab, there's an input gain control. The XY pad controls filter frequencies throughout the patch on the Y-axis and wave shaper post gain on the X-axis. The expander knob adds dynamic expansion in the input stage. Airy is an EQ macro that boosts highs and cuts mids, and the output knob is, well, it's the output gain. Taking a look at the map view here reveals a rather complex audio chain. I'll right-click in the map view and select Auto Arrange Modules here, and then I'll rearrange the map view to get a better overview of what's happening. Much better. Now we can see that the signal is split into two main paths. One path goes from the input through parametric EQ2 for filtering and into wave shaper for saturation. The second path is a little bit more complicated. The input stage here is handled by Fruity Limiter. Then there is steep low-pass filtering, all-pass filtering, two parallel wave shapers, phase dispersion, and EQ before it meets up with the first chain in the same saturating wave shaper. And finally, there's Equox. This is a powerful EQ macro patch built on Fruity Parametric EQ2 that lets you build custom formant filters from a pass filter and 6 peaking filters and quickly shift them around the frequency spectrum. The master filter section's frequency control affects all filter frequencies in the EQ simultaneously, while the resonance control is for the pass filter only. Set the pass filter type with this control, and its order here. The bypass control will switch the pass filter off entirely. In the peak filter section, there are 6 individual peaking filters to tweak. Each one can have individual order, level, frequency relative to the master filter, and bandwidth settings. The miscellaneous section then has controls for the spacing, scale, and level mix of the peaking filters, and optionally enables smoothing for the filter motion with this control. And that's what you need to know about these 4 patcher effects to understand how to use and customize them in your own creations. We hope that you found this video inspiring. Please check out the video information for links to the other videos in this series, the patcher manual, and the demo projects used in this video.